Hi YouTubers again, Red and Crazy here. I had a crazy sort of couple of days. Taco Bell sucks. Taco Bell sucks. I've been working there since March. Not really that bad, there was a really cool crew there, awesome manager who happened to be in love with my good friend, and so I kind of got to do whatever I wanted. That, and it was the whole first job thing, which is always, everybody, loves their first job at first. And, money? Great. I mean, I bought this webcam with easy money, not even half a check. Good money. At least for a teenager who doesn't have to pay rent yet. But, in any case, I had this manager. And his name is Mike. And, he's a dumbass. He's been working at Taco Bell for 8 years. 8 years. 8 years! How can you work somewhere like Taco Bell for 8 years and still have no fucking idea what you're doing? So this whole recession thing that's happening? Yeah. As a result of people having less money, they eat less fast food. Meaning, our little Taco Bell is suffering a little bit. Here's how things work. Labor is a calculated percentage of the budget. The computers, enter how much money we've made in a single day, and they calculate how many people and how many hours they've worked and how much money that is in comparison, and so we get a labor percentage. We're only supposed to be working at about 18% labor, 18.6 something. It's really hard to hit labor because the store is overstaffed. And so, Mike, my lovely boss, hires 3 more people. 'Cause that helps. 3 more people. Whatever. Dumbass, right? So, about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, I went on a camping trip. Big 4-day-long camping trip. Took a couple days off of work. It was fun. For a couple days before that and a couple days afterwards, I volunteered to go home early because labor was way too high and they needed people to go home early because my boss is a dumbass and hired 3 more people that we didn't need. So, I go home early. And at one point, my boss actually yells at me and says, "You keep asking for hours and then you keep requesting to go home early." No. I'm volunteering to go home early because you're a dumbass that can't stop hiring people. Quit hiring people. And so, my boss gets a hair up his ass and decides to blame me for his budgeting issues. And last week, didn't schedule me for any hours. No hours at all. I wasn't on the schedule at all. This week, I got 12 hours. 4 of which I lost today because the store was way overcrewed. There were people in stations, and then we had like 5 extra people. Way overcrewed. My boss had to send people home. And of course, I was the first one that got sent home because somebody has decided to blame their budgeting issues on me. So my check this week is going to be tiny. Which is obnoxious. All I have to say is 2 more months of dealing with this job, and I can go and get a real job. Just 2 more months. Either that or I'm gonna apply for the little fast food restaurant that opened up right next door recently. Anyways, so yeah, I hate my job. Really, I do. It makes me physically sick. On top of all of this, school is starting soon. Cool. I'm excited. My friend has recently convinced me to actually go to college. Real college, not, community college. And so I'm actually gonna do that. I'm a smart girl. I can do those things, and so basically I'm gonna have a loaded schedule this year, and I'm okay with that because in 2 months I'll have my car and I can it's gonna be so easy for me. And so I checked the website for my school on the 31st of July, 30th or 31st, and there's no new news posted. There's nothing telling me when registration is or when school starts, and I'm like, okay, well, it must be a bit off. I'll wait a couple days, wait until at least we get into August. Today is August 7th, as of 3 hours ago, and I checked the website today, and there's this link to a PDF file that is the newsletter that was supposed to have been mailed to me a month ago. I didn't get the newsletter. The newsletter has important paperwork on it that I need to fill out in order to register for next year, and I didn't get the newsletter. So I printed out. Not every page, only the pages that I needed, I printed out the silly little, emergency contact form and all of these stupid things. Schools are stupid. All I need to do is show up and they can teach me things. They don't need all of this stupid legal crap. Anyways, so I printed out, or at least I tried to. I print the first page, and the printer makes a funny noise and spits out what looks like a watermark rather than the actual dark ink. It's like a really light brown. Okay. And so I'm trying to think. The printer obviously isn't working. And I'm trying to think, and well, I don't have access to any other printers. Like, none. And so I'm thinking, and okay, I'll just try again. So I shove another piece of paper through the printer, and luckily it prints out right. It's the last piece of paper in the tray. But this little bit of paperwork that I need is double-sided, so I put the paper back in the way it's supposed to go, so that it'll come out and it'll be nice and double-sided the right way. And the printer decides, randomly, my possessed printer, decides to print out a test sheet. Where you get all the little bars of different colors? Prints out all the little bars of colors to test that it's working right. Yeah. My computer's possessed by, like, demons. I didn't tell it to do this. My mother didn't tell it to do this. Nobody on the computer network told the printer to print out a test sheet. It just randomly decided to. And so now I have a piece of paper with one side of my paperwork on the front, and on the back, I have a test sheet. I'm like, okay, the test sheet only takes up half the page, and I only need the bottom half of the page. And so I stick it back in, and I reprint the second page. I put it in backwards. So finally, after about an hour more fucking with this stupid printer, I get the stupid paperwork, and I cut it out so that I can put the two sides together, because for some reason I seem to be incapable of printing a double-sided page. And so I try and glue them together so that I have a double-sided little card, and they're not the same size. I use super glue. My registration is Monday. It is currently 3:40 in the morning on Friday. This school year is not starting off well. I need a new job. My school has apparently decided not to, give me any, heads up. Hey, guess what? School is starting soon. No. I had to figure it out. Whatever. I'm stressed. I look like shit. I'm sorry you all had to deal with me. It's 3:43 in the morning. I'm going to bed. Goodbye, YouTubers. Good night.